right, welcome back to another episode of The King's Corner. I'm Jake, and then this is Sam, and we're just here shooting the shit, just having a good time, and here we go. So today, first order of business, I thought I'd start off with a fun little question about what we were talking about just a minute ago, but I thought it was fun to expand on here. Yeah. What's the policy, do you think, around open windows in people's houses? If somebody has their blinds wide open and they're walking around in a bra and underwear, is it creepy to look in?
To look in, ooh, okay.
To look in, because like say you're just walking around, there you go, and then you see.
I think if you get a glance, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think that if you're staring in their window, then I think it's a little bit much.
Right? I mean, but so then how many seconds is too many seconds? Like, is it 5 seconds acceptable? 2 seconds? You see, what if you see people, banging in the window, and the window's wide open. It's on the ground floor. You're just walking your kid with a stroller, and you're just like, oh, that's interesting.
Well, was it, who was it? I think it was Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
At one point, years and years ago, he was walking around his house naked.
Oh.
And people were complaining because they were looking into his house and then you just saw him naked.
But it's private property.
But it's his house.
You're allowed to do what you want.
So I think on that end, for me, I don't mind walking around my house in my underwear.
I do it every day.
I keep my windows open. I don't really care. You look in here, please don't. But if you do, this is just that you're going to see.
I'll be honest. Sometimes I walk around fully naked. Yeah. Just why not?
Do you keep your windows open when you do?
Sometimes. At night, don't look in my window. It's sometimes it's just butt ass nigga, dick flopping around. I'm just whatever. You know, I mean, I'm not
it's freedom. Why would you
Well, there's nudist colonies, right? And then some people are just nudists at home. I've heard of multiple stories of people who grew up with their parents are just fully naked all the time throughout their whole day until they have to go in public. And then you're in the privacy of your own home. You can just be able to do whatever you want.
That would be weird.
Yeah,
but strange.
Okay, so then here's the thing too. Yeah. I've been walking around the street before, and I've seen people have their windows open, and then I see something going on TV, or the guy's playing a video game. I stop and I'll watch it for a few minutes. I'll get invested in their TV show.
I was coming home last night, and in my building, some guy was playing chess on chess.com on his TV, and I thought of you. I was like, no fucking way! I was just watching, nice. Making these moves. Yeah. So I think in that regard, that's fine.
Yeah, 400 elo.
If I'm watching some guy's TV, I mean, there's no privacy expected there, right?
Yeah.
But I think if it is a lady walking around in fucking a bikini, then maybe don't stare.
Yeah, don't stare. But
unless she's staring at you, then maybe it's
What if she waves? Do you wave back?
Knock on the door.
No. Okay.
I think that it's your own house. Do whatever you want. But also, when I'm doing it, I know that there's a chance I might get seen.
Yeah.
So it's it's not I wouldn't tell someone that they're a fucking creep if they're looking at my window.
Whenever I've lived in the city or visited friends, in skyscrapers, right? Big tall apartment buildings.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you look across the window and then there's someone else that's fully, topless, or they're just I see a lot of fat dudes walk around shirtless in their own house.
Yeah.
And that's cool, You do you, brother, but I'm seeing man titties flopping around.
Are you staring then?
3 to 5 seconds. Sometimes, and I don't think I'm alone in this guilt, but I just look at people, I look at all the people, Yeah. I'm just curious, I'm just that's an interesting body.
Yeah.
That's a shape. That's, or ever since being more at the gym and stuff, I'm damn, they're fit.
That's an interesting body.
That dude's in great shape. Or I'm you skip leg day. You definitely skip leg day.
Yeah.
And some people, it's all they do is legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially a lot of girls, it's just
squats.
From waist down, it's just muscle.
You can tell,
and then they can't do a pull up to save their life, but they can squat 3 times their body weight.
It's fucking crazy. Then you just put all of your fucking time into one section of your body.
Yeah. You get the Dorito body look, you know, the giant shoulders, the giant thing, and then you're just like
the V look, yeah.
And then your just legs are just like little
chiseled back.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh no, that's wild.
No, it's fucking lots of different shapes.
So many shapes.
Different shapes.
Yeah, I don't think that's wrong.
Yeah. What's the best shape?
The best shape?
Like a pear? No.
A pear? Not avocado. Not pear. The best shape. I think it's depends person to person. Typically, I think you want to say like hourglass is like the typical preferred shape for a lot of people, but I don't know. I think looking healthy.
Yeah, that's it.
Looking healthy without, because there is like too much muscle, and it's like gross, you know.
Like I think that for me, like I have a bit of a higher cutoff than a lot of guys, because like I like
like
when a girl has
a
good amount of muscle, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, she fucking works out, you know.
Like if a girl's really more jacked than you are, is that a problem?
She could hold me against the wall.
Dude, she holds you against the wall. She'll be pulling your hair. Like, shit, bro.
I'll just fucking sit there, just not do anything.
You know, that's not the worst thing in the world. You guys, go cold plunges together, eat protein shakes and shit.
It. You know, that's for me. That's
running marathons together, holding hands.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's like a huge thing. The girl that I told you I went on a date with last night.
Yeah.
She was telling me that she used to go to the gym for like an hour or so a day, but she wasn't noticing any like difference, so she started going for 2 hours a day.
Oh
and
shit!
I was like, holy fuck.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like okay, and then like my respect and like my attraction to her is fucking goes like, you know, it's
That's pretty sick. I mean, awesome. Fair enough, you know.
Yeah. 2 hours a day at the gym, that's respectable.
Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah. Sometimes
it's a lot more than I do now.
Yeah.
I used to do 2 or 3 hours, but
no. The most I've done I think was like 3.5 hours in the gym. Yeah. But then that was because I was feeling like so much energy and so much boosted and like let's go.
Were you doing a lot of cardio?
No. Almost no
just
cardio.
Weights,
it's like all weights.
3.5 hours. Yeah.
Well, I would start with like 20 minutes of cardio, right? And just like get warm up and a little bit of stretches and stuff. But like I like to try and go into weights right away, right?
Okay.
Because I don't want to waste all my energy on the cardio.
Yeah.
And then you just burn out right away. And you're just like, fuck, I'm just tired of shit. And so, but then it's like, I've been at points, especially when I'm like taking a lot of creatine and just like eating like really well and I'm really in the good mojo of gymming a lot.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, but this muscle isn't sore yet. I gotta do this one.
Yeah.
And it's like you do like 3 or 4 different exercises on it, and then although probably some of the gym time wasted is like scrolling through Instagram for a minute because you're just like exhausted between sets. I'm just
that's it.
Okay,
you get to a point you start out strong, you're like doing pull-ups or whatever, and then fucking weights and everything, and then all of a sudden you're like, I need a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
Like in between every set.
Yeah. Something I do a lot, especially I love EDM music and like dance music while I'm in the gym, and then I'll just be like dancing like in between sets.
I know, I've seen you do that.
Just like have a little dance, and I'm just like, all right, let's go. And like the chorus about to call, and like the beat's about to drop. Yeah.
Like I guess I don't listening to something pretty good.
And that's it, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't really like raves that much. I don't like crowds that much. There's too many people. But I love the rave music, and I wish that I could be in a gym where they're like blasting that kind of music. But it's like then I don't have to take headphones out or whatever. But I guess they want to have like generic music that's good for most people.
In my school, because I studied police foundations.
Yeah, at home.
So no, that was in college. Come on.
Yeah.
But it was awesome because we had this one gym that the school used to use. So they built a new wing of the school, which included like a brand new gym. So they gave us the old gym.
Yeah.
So it was for people in police foundations, and then fire and paramedic. Yeah. So it was all the first responders, and it was the first responder gym.
Yeah.
And it was only a few people using it, and we had an aux cord to plug into the speakers of the gym. So we could do that. It was fucking awesome. Nice. So sometimes people would crank it so fucking loud. So you're like walking like way down the hallway, and you just hear like EDM music just blasting, and you're like, yeah, I know where that's coming from.
I know that.
It was awesome. It was so cool. Such a nice little gym too.
Sometimes the gym playlist is so shit. Like sometimes, you know, I'll have like some good things going on, you know, some good upbeat, you know, some like metal or some rap or whatever. Yeah. But then sometimes like fucking like Miley Cyrus Flowers comes on and you're like, why? This is not what I want right now to be working out. You know, and like really, I mean, you know, maybe if you want to like think about like ex-girlfriend pump, you know, you're just like
and like I did that quite a bit, you know, and
put on sad music.
I just don't know how healthy that is for your mental health, you know. Like I'm not sure. Like I think sometimes
it can help heal, maybe, you know, help healing.
Yeah, maybe, but like it's such a different motive, you know. Yeah. It's like I'm not just here to make myself healthy. I'm here to get a lot of anger outside of my body, you know. And I mean it's good, but sometimes I'd rather, you know, the EDM shit. You're just like you're just in the moment. You know? Yeah. You're not thinking about the past. You're just like right here, right now.
Yeah.
Well, I like. Fucking sometimes you get a good song. You're like pissed off, and you just fucking hammers.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see and understand the reason of why metal music would be really good for working out. If you're like really angry about something, you're just like.
Metallica,
You're just like just fucking going crazy. Yeah. But I don't know. I like my upbeat, happy EDM music and whatever, and usually it's like different remixes of like various popular songs and stuff. But I like a little bit of words that I can kind of understand and like, you know, some kind of words. I don't like just straight dubstep. Yeah. Like, I don't know if you knew this. Shaquille O'Neal, basketball player. He's a DJ as well. Really? So after he finished doing basketball and stuff and whatever in the last couple of years, he's been DJing a lot, and he's like a good DJ. Oh yeah. And so he put out a whole album of dubstep music, and that was kind of cool. And I was listening to it, but it was like I can see why, and it was like good for the gym for a couple songs and stuff. But it was like, you know what? I still prefer my EDM stuff because I like having a bit of words and stuff mixed into it, right? A bit of more vocals and things. So,
For me, I just have like one playlist. It's called Adventure, and I made it
Adventure
years ago when I was going on an adventure. I'm like, I'll make this playlist. So ever since I've been just adding new songs to it. So it's got like maybe like 200 and something.
Oh shit!
And then every time, like I look through them, I look at like my past, but I'm like, okay, I've added, you know, five songs, and they're all really sad. I'm like, oh, I must have been going through like a hard time at that point. And then the next 5 songs are like fucking really like upbeat and happy and like EDM, and I'm like, I must have been in a good place then, you know? Yeah. You can just see like where you were in life just based on your music.
Nice.
It's fucking it's really cool.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so I had another thing that I thought that would be worth talking about. Okay. So I was thinking about this while we were doing our river cold plunge. Yep. Which was fucking awesome.
It was so fucking cool. Awesome. Yeah.
So
sunny today, so beautiful. It was fucking.
To slight side step before we jump into this. Last episode we started talking about cold exposure and cold plunges, and I accidentally paused it for an hour of recording. So, you know, mistakes were made, but you know, you learn and you move on.
Look it up again.
Don't look it up. Let's not research anything. I got hotkeys and, you know.
Cold showers effects on dopamine.
Yeah. Pee on dopamine and pause an hour worth of stuff. It was great. I loved it so much. It's so rewarding. And then and so then anyways, when we were in the cold shower, I did the cold shower today after the river, and it wasn't nearly as cold.
I didn't even hear you yelling.
No. It was just like, oh, okay. I was like washing my hair, whatever.
It feels warmer.
It was actually, not bad at all. It was like, felt like room temperature.
Yeah, right.
But it was like fucking cold. But not as cold as the river. Not even close.
The river's fucking cold. Dude.
Glacier water, river.
It's fucking amazing.
Pretty cold.
So nice. But that current, dude, like I think if we swam hard enough, we could get to the other side. There's like an island where you can go.
It's probably what, like 20 meters maybe max?
Not even.
Like 15 feet maybe?
I don't know.
Meters to feet. That's hard.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe like 15 meters.
15 meters.
Which isn't far, but the fucking current, like you're.
Well, it was fast. Down. Like I saw you dove in a little, and then
as soon as you take your feet off the ground, you're going down. Yeah.
Well, and it doesn't look that deep. I don't think it's that deep. Maybe like I think in the middle, you could probably touch and put your hands up and hands above water.
Yeah, I think so.
But freaking cold.
Yes.
And the river's fast. Like even like in the shallower parts where it was just like chest deep.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, that river is strong. Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You're just feeling it coming against you. Yeah. You know what I really want to do? I want to jump off the engine bridge. The engine bridge would be fun to jump off of.
Is that the bridge that was the car bridge that we were right beside? Because that looks shallow as shit.
No, it's down a little bit.
Okay.
The way that I came from?
Yeah. Oh, you were over there? Because I was looking at the messages and it said engine bridge and I was like, I'll walk this way. And then that's when I was like, maybe he's over here at this bridge because I was like,
it's like
Park
the old
bridge.
The bridge that they used to use when Canmore was a mining town.
Coal mining and stuff.
Yeah. So they don't use it anymore. Now it's a pedestrian bridge.
Ah.
And they're like, please don't climb on it. But you could climb on it.
You could totally.
And jump off.
I think I've seen pictures like from this bridge. It's very it's like old timey, right?
Yeah.
It's like kind of like rusted and stuff.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Really cool.
That looks cool. I think we should test the water first and see how deep it is. Probably.
But you can see. I think it's like clear enough. You can see the bottom.
You can see like all 6 feet of the depth.
Yeah.
You can see the spot where people broke their legs jumping off.
You just have to do like a shallow dive, like just enough to come back up.
I used to do those a lot in pools, and I felt so confident about it. Yeah. But then
like in the shallow end?
Yeah. Where it's like 4 feet deep, and it's like no diving.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I had my own pool growing up, and so I would just like dive into it, and I would call it a skim dive, where you just like. Yeah. Right? You like barely go in and then you like...
It's a skill, you gotta learn how to do it,
Because, I mean, you don't want to just deep dive.
No.
Because then you break your neck.
You really don't want to.
But when I was in grade school, our grade school had like a program with like special needs kids. Yeah. So we had a bunch of people that were in wheelchairs and a bunch of people with like Down syndrome and like extreme autism and like different like stuff like that. And there was like maybe like 10 or 15 of them. Mm-hmm. And there was like 4 kids that were in wheelchairs that were like paralyzed neck down.
Were you in this class?
No. Sadly, no. I was slightly too smart for being in that class.
Sorry, yeah. So they were paralyzed back down, yeah. Just
so
I was born like that or injury?
That was the thing. One of them was born like that.
Yep.
And then one of them was like a normal kid, and then he was like 10, and then he dove into a pool.
Yeah.
And then he broke his neck.
Yeah.
And then he was just in the chair. Yeah. And then he was like 13 or something or whatever, and he was just like. And like all they could do like move their neck a little bit and then like their fingers were like heavily flexed and like they would shake a little bit and they would just be like doing different moans of sorts and stuff and I was like shit I don't want to dive into pools anymore.
Life can change.
Just like so fast.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you got everything and then you're just gone. So
I think about that a lot when I'm on my bike because I love like going fast downhill and I love like not holding the handlebars. You just feel so free.
Wait, not holding the handlebars, going downhill fast as shit.
Yeah. And then you can you
got a snowboard, man.
Whereas like you can go back and forth. Yeah, I think snowboarding would be a lot of fun. But for me, I go back and forth, so I like to just lean, and then you're just having fun, it's just fucking a good time. But I think about it a lot because if I fell, I don't really wear a helmet. If the last time I fell, I fucked up my hip pretty good, but I got really lucky that I didn't, hit
smack your head.
Exactly, because that's pretty high chance of, brain damage or.
So now that you hurt your hip pretty bad and it sucked for like 2 weeks, now you still don't wear a helmet?
Yeah.
You would think that's like God warning you. Like, look, buddy. Put on a damn helmet.
I just went back to doing the exact same thing as what I was doing before.
It's like, did you learn your lesson? Absolutely not. No.
It's gonna have to be worse next time.
It's gonna have to be significantly worse for me to actually carry. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
But I do have that thought. I'm like, if you fall down, even with the helmet, you can still break, certain parts of your body.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
It's like if you,
but I mean,
break your spine. You injure your spine bad enough, your life is gonna be changed forever.
Big time. Well, even if you like break your legs in a certain way, I mean, you're gonna lose couple months at the very least of like walking ability and then it's like getting your ability to walk back and then it's getting your ability to walk in such a way that you build your muscle back because your muscles will all disintegrate. Have you ever like broken something in like in a cast for like months?
No, I fractured my ankle once, but I got it checked out 6 months later. So they were like, buddy, it's too late. We can't do it.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I've broken this arm.
Yep.
jumping off my trampoline. I was like really good at my trampoline,
Yeah.
but then I was like, I'm gonna do a front flip off the trampoline and land on the ground.
Yeah.
Because my buddy, who also had a trampoline, did it, and he took a video, and it was awesome. It looked cool as shit. And I was like, I'm gonna do that. And then I bailed halfway through, and I was like, no, I don't want to do the front flip anymore. I was too scared. And if I committed, then I would have just landed. But I didn't commit. I tried to bail, and I just fully landed like this, and then I broke. I remember my arm looked like an upside down fork.
Really?
It was like this, and then up, and then like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was freaky. And then the whole way to the hospital ride, I could feel like every bump in the road in like the pain of my arm because I was just holding it like this, right?
Yeah.
But then,
wow.
I had the cast on for like 3 months or something like that, and it was like this, right? And I had my arm stuck like this for months, and then I remember like I was able to move my arm a tiny bit like this, but imagine like
at least you
like,
do that,
there's little movements. I'm gonna be honest, I switched hands. Bro, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
Hey, I'm an extras, you gotta do it.
So
you gotta take turns, you know, every now and again.
It's like writing with two fingers at the same time.
For sure,
you know? Yeah.
People can do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Imagine writing a whole story, like a whole book where you're writing like this and like the beginning of one page and the beginning of the second page and you're doing it at the same time. And it's like whole different sentences.
Brain has two different things going on and you're...
Maybe if you're schizophrenic and you have multiple personalities and then one personality's fully doing
left
left brain.
One of them to write a paragraph.
Right?
No, yeah.
I don't know if it works that way. But that'd be cool as shit.
No, I don't think so.
Split personality? No?
Yeah.
Like the movie Split, he's like 6 different people. Have you seen that movie? Oh, it's cool as shit. It's like a horror movie, but it's this guy who has like severe personality disorder, and he like leaves and enters this room of he like keeps these kids hostage in this room, these 2 girls, and then he keeps going in and out of the room as like different people, right? Like in one he's like a 4-year-old kid, and then like another one he's like this old lady, and this other one, and then he's like different voices for each one. He like his body movements are all different. It's a really cool movie.
I don't think that's how that works in real life.
Well, I don't think so, but I mean maybe something along. I could see it being something along the lines, but he described it as like there's like 7 people in a room and they're all sitting in chairs and they all take chances going into the light, and the light is like his personality and his ability to be controlling the body.
Okay.
Right? So that was like a cool thing. And then like towards the end there was like the monster or whatever that like they unleashed, and then he was like this like savage killing machine type thing, like crazy person. And they were all talking about all the different personalities were talking about the one personality that they were all afraid of and was like controlling everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like kind of freaky. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
It's a very interesting movie. It's called Split, and I think there's a second version. There's a Split 2.
Oh yeah.
And that one's pretty good too, but the first one's definitely better.
Okay. When did it come out? Well, I might have seen this when I was really young, if it is that old.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Sorry, I don't know what year it was, but it was at least like 5-6 years ago at least.
Okay, then I definitely haven't seen it.
Yeah, no.
Okay, no.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Like, definitely would recommend watching.
Nice. I've done a little bit of reading on like some of those disorders, like in real life, like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder and like borderline personality disorder, and they're fucking complicated, man. Like I think they're like huge just mood disorders, you know. So a lot of the time your mood will just be down and then fucking way high up and then way down. So it's really hard to gauge how you're gonna feel, and like if you like know someone like that, then it's really hard to do anything with them.
Well, and then
because it's like, okay, you know, you're happy one minute, you're like down to do whatever and hang out, and then the next minute you're in the like deepest depression of your life, you know. And sometimes it can get really, really hard to handle. Pretty crazy for sure. Yeah,
definitely. I think. Well, and then I wonder if it's like a thing where it's just trauma induced, where you like go through crazy experiences, and then in order to deal with that trauma, your brain splits off into different personalities that you embrace.
Do a lot of different things to cope with it. Yeah.
To cope with it, or sometimes maybe you're just born with it. But I've also heard, like in the case of schizophrenia, there's been a lot of cases where people start smoking very high THC level marijuana, and then their brain just breaks free into whatever and then goes schizophrenic. But I think those people were already prone to schizophrenia before, and then the weed just triggered it and then set it off.
Okay.
I don't know if necessarily that was just because like anybody who smokes enough, whatever. But I will be honest, during the lockdowns, I was smoking so much, especially because it was legal in Canada and I could just buy it wherever, whenever I wanted, right?
Did you develop schizophrenia?
I was worried that that I might get schizophrenia because I was smoking so much and we had nothing else going on. So I didn't even have like school or work or any reason to stop or to like not smoke or to be stoned or to be sober. Yeah. So I was just super stoned for like a while, and I was talking, you know, like you have like your internal dialogue and like you talk to yourself a little bit in your head. Yeah. Well, that voice was like louder and louder and louder, and then I had like more than one voice in my head like that where it was like talking to myself and I was like, yeah, I should do this, I should do that, and then it's like, no, that's a bad idea, I don't think you should do it, and then it was just like I was like arguing with myself in my head, and then I felt like it was two versions of me, but two voices of my own voice. It's like literally like the angel and devil on your shoulders, right? But then it was like I was like, because I was alone so much and smoking so much and then watching YouTube and Netflix and video games or whatever, so it was like nothing else to do.
Cocktail for just
nonsense. Just like losing it, right? Shit that you And so then eventually I was like, I gotta stop, and so then I moved in with my dad for a couple months, and so that was cool. But
I think I have something like, maybe not to that extent, but something similar where even when I'm sober, you know, if I spend a lot of time alone or something, then my thoughts kind of just become, I don't know, kind of their own, you know? And I try to control them, and I think meditating and kind of embracing being alone helps with that a lot. Yeah. But sometimes it's fucking hard to control, you know? Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, now I'm alone, I'm in the quiet. I think that's what it is, the quiet. When you're not talking to anyone, when you're not listening to music or podcasts or anything, you just got quiet. There's just the sounds of what you're doing, you know?
I think it's
for
really
me,
healthy.
I struggle with that. What do you think about it?
I think it's really healthy to have like a certain amount of time where you're alone and like quiet for a bit.
I think so.
Like doing some kind of meditating, especially if you're out in nature. Yeah. You know, and then you get like a lot of like just the sound of the wind in the trees, the sound of the water flowing in the river or the lake or whatever.
Well, that's when my thoughts are fucking great, you know. Yeah. But if I'm in my house alone and just chilling,
isolated, full zero sound, whatever.
Yeah. I also think I don't know what you think about this, but I think that when you're in a house alone and it's quiet, I think there's something to, like, it's not fully quiet, you know? Like, obviously, if you're in a town or a city, then it's not going to be quiet. But even if you're out in the middle of nowhere, I think that there's always sounds, you know? Whether it's, like, a very low buzzing, like electricity, like in your wall or something, right? It's always, something's always moving. Something's always doing something, right? Yeah. And I think electricity is I think it maybe makes more noise than we think. Like, I think that you kind of drown it out, obviously, and it's such a low frequency, right? But I think that it affects you because anytime I'm in my house, it's so different than just being outside. Yeah. You know, if I'm outside in the woods, away from any roads, any sounds of cars, any people, then I feel like I'm fully in the quiet. And maybe that has to do because it's like a bigger wide open space. Yeah. But I don't know.
Well, I've definitely been in rooms where it's like very quiet, and then all of a sudden you start tuning in on the little sounds, like the sound of the refrigerator, or the sound of the lights just humming them.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, and you don't notice them. Yeah, because you're always busy, or you know, for me, I like to put music on a lot. You know, whenever I'm doing something, I usually have music going just so that I can just focus on something else, and have that dopamine where I'm like, this is good. You know.
So you know, it's an interesting thing. I remember I was like 10 or so in school, and they had these like music people come in. They had like a big assembly, you know, everyone all got together in the room, and then they had like these drums and then these like different stuff, and they were like, okay, we're gonna do an experiment. Everybody on the count of 3 is gonna hum just like one note, whatever the note feels like that you come to your mind, and then they go, okay, 1, 2, 3, and everyone goes right, and it was more or less all the same note.
And then one kid's like, oh yeah.
No, but that would have been funny. That would have been good. But then he explained, he's like, I think it was like C flat or something. Yeah. But he said the note that everybody hummed, which was about the same note approximately, is the sound frequency level of the lights. Okay. And so we're so used to hearing that in the background that when we're asked to hum something, that's the first because that's the same.
So you match it.
You match it because you're just surrounded by it all the time. But apparently in different countries, they have like places like, you know, in like African countries, European countries, Asian countries, they have a different frequency sound for the light.
Okay.
And it's just such a slightly different thing that it makes their average hum is a different sound of hum.
Yeah.
And so that's just interesting. It's similar to like we have our outlets here, our plugs that you plug into the wall. And then you ever when you were in South America, did you notice there was different plugs, or was it the same plugs? Because in Europe for sure it's different plugs.
I know in New Zealand it was different.
Yeah,
it was different. I'm trying to remember. I don't.
Australia?
I wasn't in Australia.
Oh no, just New Zealand.
No, just New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I think New Zealand and Australia have the same plugs.
Probably, yeah.
But I don't think I ever needed an adapter. But I mostly plugged my stuff into hostels.
Yeah.
So maybe they were different, but I think I know that down in Chile they have different
sockets.
Different sockets.
Okay.
You need like an adapter. Or
Yeah.
I don't know about any other countries, but I think in Colombia, where I was, it was always the same. Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's cool. Yeah, because I know when I was in Europe, every country I went to, we had to have an adapter. All the hostels, everything. Yeah. And then it's like this like big thing that you plug into the wall, and then your thing goes up, and then it's like this far of plugs before it gets to the cord.
At my hostel, people leave those adapters behind all the time.
Oh yeah.
So we have like a bag full of adapters.
Oh
and, we just give them out to people whenever they need it.
For sure.
People don't come back for those.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You could
true.
probably make a little side business, selling adapters.
Honestly, like
$5 per adapter,
Start selling the lost and found. No.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's good shit in there, dude. Like people leave behind some fucking good stuff. We if they're in like a private room or something, we'll message them or call them and be like, hey, you left this behind. But a lot of the time they're gone. Or it's too late. They're moving on. So they don't come back, and then we're like, okay, then it's free game, whenever anybody wants it, like here you go. Otherwise we wait about a week. Yeah.
Before you just take it home. Yeah.
That's it. I've gotten some good shit. Got my backpack from there.
Oh no shit.
Someone left behind their backpack, and he didn't want it. He left it on purpose. No. And then like a hat, someone gave it to me, and he's like, yeah, I'm leaving this behind. I'm like, fuck yeah. All right. It's pretty cool.
That's kind of a cool thing, I guess, when you're traveling. You're just like, I don't want to bring this with me. Yeah. You can just like leave it in like a hostel or like in a room.
Someone's gonna use it.
Yeah. Someone's gonna get
for sure.
Especially if it's like moderately useful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
and that's the thing, like
travel.
That's an interesting thing. You can do it in hostels and probably hotel rooms, but you can't do it in like a house. Like if we were to leave this apartment and then leave a bunch of random shit, then you can't just leave a bunch of shit. They'd probably like charge you some kind of like cleaning fee or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. When I was young, my family and I did that a little bit. We just leave shit behind when we were moving from city to city. Yeah. Shouldn't have, but we did.
I mean, it happens. I mean, people do much worse shit than just leaving shit in an apartment.
That's true.
Even like when we came to this place, it was kind of funny. They left like a bunch of cleaning supplies, right?
That's pretty good.
That was cool, right? Yeah. Like some Windex and then all-purpose spray and like whatever. I think it was like a brush or something as well. They left. And then they left like a coat rack, right? Like on wheels we could roll around. So that was kind of cool. That was in the closet. Nice. And then they also left. I found this like a week into living here, but I was just looking through the fridge and making it look in a storage space and stuff. And then I found 2 packages of pre-rolls, like joints.
I think you told me this.
Yeah. And I was so excited because I was like, dude, this is amazing. It's like it's an expensive apartment, but hey, it came with some free weed. And they were in the fridge, which I thought was the weirdest thing. Yeah. I think maybe it was just to like keep the smell as minimal to 0 as possible.
Yeah, it could have been.
Maybe they heard something about it keeping it more fresh or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
For me, when I
never heard about weed in the fridge. That sounds weird.
Yeah, me either. But it sounds alright. I don't know.
They were alright.
Like it's a crisper smoke,
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. But when I used to smoke weed, I hated the smell of weed when I wasn't smoking it. So like anytime during the week, like I limited my smoking to 1 day a week on Friday nights. I was like, this is the only time I can smoke.
Yeah.
And I loved it because like that was when I was working 7 days a week and always busy, and then I would just take one couple hour block of time per week to just chill. Right. So I'd have a pipe. And it started getting stained and pretty gross and smelling like a lot of weed. So I had to do my best to get rid of the smell, because any time during the week I was like, fuck, that's the worst,
Yeah.
But then just that one time I was like, okay, this is good. So maybe it could have been the smell. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Makes sense.
I could see that. I mean, like the residue from like a pipe and stuff is like pretty stinky. I can see that. Like, did you try cleaning it out and stuff?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like Q-tips are really good for that, Or
yeah,
like
it was a really skinny
water.
thing, so the Q-tip wouldn't. I use a lot of hot water, and it was like an ash catcher pipe. It was one of my favorite things. It's so pretty, It's so cool. Like,
nice.
It's like a glass little pipe,
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's so cool. I remember in high school trying to like clean out different pipes and like water bomb stuff and like
did you ever
an assortment of chemicals, so many chemicals to just try and clean it, and I'm like, this is nasty.
It's fucking hard to clean, sometimes. Yeah.
They sell chemicals and bottles and stuff specifically to clean it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. Did you ever smoke the resin?
Oh yeah.
You did? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Desperate times come for desperate measures, And it's like you run out, and then it's like, okay,
so
finished all my weed.
Yeah.
Went through, finished all the roaches. Went through the ashtray, all the half smoked weed that was like, you burn a bit, but then you like ash it out because you have like a half ounce or whatever, and you're like, look at all this weed I got, and then you're just like, putting it back in, and then, and then at the end, and then it's like, shit, man. I don't know. There's not enough to smoke. Yeah. So I'd take like the bowl piece of my bong, and I'd like take like a knife or like something, or like scrape it, and then you get like little balls of it, and then you're like lighting, and it would take so long to heat it up enough to actually smoke, and then there was such little amount of like THC potential you could get from it, and then you just ended up inhaling so much butane because you're just holding the lighter on, and going so much, and it's just not going, and it's just barely burning, and eventually then you get like a tiny little coal of it's burning, like a corner of it's burning, and you're like, you like keep lighting it, and you're like, and then it's just so like, and then after you spend like half an hour trying to get like the tiniest shitty little like puff of smoke, and then you're like, this is terrible.
Yeah, it was fucking
this is
gross.
such a waste of time, and then you like beat yourself up.
You do anything for it, like you want that high, and you're so used to having it, and then all of a sudden you're just dependent on it, and you don't have it, and you're like anything.
Well, over the years, I've probably spent hours literally scraping different shit to try and get little amounts, or like scrounging around, looking at everything. Any last little bit. But then whenever I was like in the middle of like, having lots of weed and whatever, and people were like, oh, you're addicted. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not addicted. I'm fine. I can do it anytime I want, Piss me off. But now, what day are we at? The 24th? I think it was like the 28th or the 25th or something of August that I stopped. Or no, it wasn't August. It was July.
Yeah.
Because all of August I didn't smoke, so almost 2 months.
Fucking right. Nice.
Yeah, feeling awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, feeling really good.
Yeah.
Waking up, not tired as shit every single morning.
That's it, right?
That's
and
really
it really
nice.
Fucks with my sleep. Yeah. Like even last night I literally had one edible, and I was like, I bought a couple. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna just relax tonight. Yeah. And I got pretty high, and I was like, I've only eaten one edible. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But then my sleep was shit. I woke up like, I think I slept like 8.5 hours or so. Yeah. Pretty solid sleep, but I just woke up so fucking tired. Yeah. It must fuck with I think it's your REM sleep. It fucks.
Yeah. I think something else that I need to start doing is reading before bed and having like a certain amount of like screen time cut off. Yeah. Because I can so easily be up until 3 a.m. on my computer. Yeah. And like last night, like I was like 11 something or whatever, and then I was like, man, like getting kind of tired, but like I don't want to go to bed yet, but like because like I have this idea of when I go to bed, then the day's over, and then like my nighttime is usually like my fun free time, to do whatever I want. Yeah. But then I don't want that to end, so then I stay up later, and then it's like 12, 1, 2, and then it's like okay, just till 2:30, and then it's like 2:30, like 2:35 happens, and I'm like, I'm already past 2:30. I may as well stay till 3. Yeah. Yeah. And so it's
I know that feeling because when I used to go out a lot when I was a teenager, I would go to the bars every weekend, Friday, Saturday, always. And I loved it. Yeah. But in my mind, the only time that really mattered was that night. Yeah. So it's like, okay, this night's going to be great. I'm going to go to the bar. I'm going to maybe grind on with some women or something, and then maybe go to the strip club. Like, I don't know, whatever you're going to do. Yeah, whatever. And it felt, great. But then I'd wake up the next morning and I would be disappointed because that day was not going to be as good as the night before. Yeah. So eventually I started switching a little bit where I was getting really into like a lot of cardio and a lot of exercise and stuff like that. So I had a lot more to be excited about the next day. Yeah. So I think that's huge into wanting, like, being excited for that day. You know, you need something to be excited about.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
that's it. You got to replace the old dopamine kicks and the old addictions and things with something that's more exciting.
That's
and more
it.
fun.
That's it, right? Yeah. And whether that's, you know, for me, like, during that time, it was exercise. You know, I was always so excited to wake up and go to the gym or go for a run or something. Because I was always getting this, like, natural high, and I'm like, fucking, that's gonna feel so good. So I would go to bed at like 9 or 10 p.m. and be so excited for 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait, you know. And yeah, I think it depends on what you're into and whatnot. But yeah, it's very important to find something that you're excited about, because otherwise, the next day is always gonna be worse than that night.
Yep. Well, you know, and there's going to be natural ups and downs, right? And there's going to be the highs and lows, and you're going to feel like shit some days, and you're going to feel amazing some days. And, you know, and there's, like, so many factors that you can't account for and, you know, be on top of. But, yeah, absolutely.
Depends on a lot of things, like the weather, too, especially.
Oh, yeah. The amount of sunlight that
you're
getting.
Today, I fucking woke up, and I was like, oh, this is pretty nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's sunny, it's beautiful.
Beautiful day.
You're like, you want to fucking go on the river? And I was like,
fuck yeah, dude.
Like, yep, we can't fucking wait.
Super nice.
And then we did it, and I felt amazing, yeah.
It was incredible.
Actually, today I was in such a good mood, you know. Before I met up with you,
Yeah.
I was just sitting.
And then you met up with me, and then it all.
And then I was like, God damn it, no. But I was chilling by the river, and I was drinking a kombucha, and I told you I was just like chilling. I was just watching the river go by.
Yeah.
And everything just felt so good, you know. I must have had like some really good like dopamine levels. Or something. And I was, you know, looking up and looking at the moon and the clouds and everything, and it was just fucking amazing. Like, I was loving it, you know. I was just thinking, you know, it's just so nice. Yeah.
Sweet.
Such a nice day for it. Yeah.
Beautiful day, man. Beautiful day. All right, well, you gotta get moving. I gotta go into work soon, but
it's 3 o'clock.
You know, it's been a good little 45 minutes or so. You know, we're kicking around, having a great old time. Thanks for stopping in, guys. We'll see you next time for another episode of Sam and Jake shooting the shit. You know, just living life, and you know, until next time.
Fuck yeah.